Hey y'all, welcome and welcome back to Summertime Tarot. For those of you who don't know, my name is Summer and I hope everybody is just perfectly splendid. Okay. I don't get tired of doing that. But this here is part 2 of the male edition of what is the Haunting of Bly Manor trying to tell you about your love life, okay? So if you haven't already, don't forget to go ahead and check out the other parts, right? The other chapters of this here series. Check out the female edition as well as part 1 of the male edition, right? And to see what the other characters may be wanting to tell you about your love life, okay? But let's go ahead and get into these piles, okay? So we have 3 piles here. The first pile is Arthur Lloyd. The second pile is Edmund O'Mara. Eddie, right? And the third pile is Dominic Wingrave, okay? So take a moment to figure out your pile, right? You can pick based on which character you resonate the most with or just based on number. But I also suggest, to check out, the character that you dislike, right? The character that rubs you the wrong way. Oftentimes we can find, that the people that just don't sit right with us, they have a message for us, right? So I'm going to go ahead and start with pile 1. So if you picked Arthur Lloyd, let's go ahead and see what the Haunting of Bly Manor is trying to tell you about your love life, okay? So, all right, I feel like if you picked Arthur, you may be like very loyal to your family, to your friends. Right? Sometimes you may even, push your agenda or your philosophy, your ideas onto other people, right? Because you feel like you need to protect them or protect them from themselves or protect them from other people, what have you. But let's go ahead and see what the cards have to say. Okay, so we have acceptance and health. So acceptance reads, I am learning to accept the things that I cannot change. In health, I will honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. Yeah, so acceptance, funny enough, came out in the Viola Willoughby reading. So, right, if you feel connected or you don't like Viola, right, may be good to check out that video as well, right? But I feel like here with this acceptance and health, right, you may kind of dismiss or maybe not even pay attention to your own well-being, right, in order to kind of, like I was saying, care for other people, right? You may be very focused on the physical reality, right? Your money, your goals, to the point where you may feel like if you don't have those things, then you're not manly or you're not worthy of love or affection. So we have clarity. Let me trust my deepest instincts in all ways, especially when matters are unclear. May my own holy intuition always guide the way. Yeah. Yeah, some of you may put other people's needs before your own. Or it might be vice versa. It depends, right? However it resonates. But I feel like you may lose focus or you may lose sight of what's really important to you or to other people, because you kind of want things to be a certain way, right? In order to feel content or feel happy, you may have very high standards for yourself, for other people. But let's see what else wants to come out here. But I feel like with that clarity showing up, right, it's a need to kind of trust in your own wisdom, but not to the point where it kind of overrides, other people's truths or other people's needs and desires, right? Excuse me. Right, you may be kind of like untrusting of people as well. You may have like a big guard up. Right, and when I look at this card, right, it's like you may very much kind of demand respect from people, and it's almost giving me like you may demand this respect by like having, like I was saying, high expectations. And if people don't reach those expectations or don't do what it is you feel they should do, you may have like a, ooh, you may get upset about it. Right. I feel like, you know, some of you may kind of do things, or you may kind of dismiss or not pay attention to your own kind of feelings, right? So you may kind of be so focused on the external world, your dreams, your goals, that you dismiss how you're really feeling, what's going on within you. Or even you may kind of dismiss your own kind of thoughts or perceptions about people in your life, right? In your relationships. You may kind of hide your feelings, hide how unhappy you are in certain situations, maybe even in your relationships, in order to kind of save face and to do what you feel is expected of you. But I feel like there's a need here for you to kind of not focus so much on like doing the right thing or being what other people expect you to be, but to allow yourself to be who you're called to be who you feel you need to be in the moment, right? For your greatest good, right? Hopefully I'm making sense here, right? Some of you could even kind of avoid your feelings or avoid relationships altogether in pursuit of your dreams and goals, right? Almost like feeling like that's how you're going to get your respect, that's how you're going to get your fulfillment. But at the end of the day, you may still kind of feel unhappy or unfulfilled, because you may be filling your life with things, but not like love. You get me? I hope I'm making sense. Right? Yeah. So I feel like if you resonate with that, right, there's a need for balance between, I feel, your internal world and your external world, right? That you're not so focused on your dreams and goals that you forget about your own, you know, emotional needs. Or even if it's you know, other people's expectations of you. Right? That you're not so focused on being a certain thing or reaching those expectations that have been set for you, that you forget to focus on what's most important to you in life and in love as well, right? Right? If you are in like a romantic relationship at this time, you may, you know, kind of avoid your relationship, or kind of may not be paying attention to your partner, right? Because, you know, you may be focused on, you know, money or work. And I feel like that may be like causing some distance between you guys. Right, and I feel like you may be like aware of this kind of imbalance in your life, but you may feel like you don't know how to bring about any kind of change, right? Or you could even just be in a space where you don't want to make a change. You know, hey man, for whatever reason, right? You could be very conflicted in your mind about, you know, which path to take or what to do in order to kind of bring peace, to bring harmony, to bring happiness into your life, right? And I feel like it's because you may be focusing so much on this here victory, right? Whatever it may be, it could be, you know, goals that you set, or money, or, you know, I don't know. It depends on you, right? But I feel like in kind of focusing on that, you may be, like I was saying, losing out on other things that you want. But I feel like it's kind of time here with this inner quiet to get clear about what it is that you really want, right? And to spend time, you know, bathing in your emotions, if that makes sense, you know, and not avoiding them, right? Reflecting on how you really feel. Are you really happy? Do you have what it is that you want in your life? Right? And if not, what are you going to do about it? What changes are you going to make within yourself as well as, you know, externally, in order to get what it is that you want? Let's see. All right. Some of you, right, may be kind of avoiding getting close to people or expressing your feelings, right? We have inner peace here. Yeah, I feel like I was saying, it's time for you to spend time connecting with yourself, healing yourself, bringing in more peace to yourself, right? Not focusing so much on like other people's needs, but what do you need to feel at peace, to feel at home, to feel happy, to feel loved. Right, some of you may like very much kind of need a vacation. I need a vacation. Like you may need to spend some time just, you know, connecting with yourself, loving on yourself, healing yourself, figuring out, you know, where you may be feeling empty or feeling lost or feeling unhappy, and figuring out what you can do to change that, to bring in more happiness, to bring in more peace, to bring in more fulfillment in your life and also in your relationships, right? Some of you here with this star in reverse, right? You may be feeling a bit lonely here. But I feel like if you do, you're kind of avoiding it by kind of taking action and doing things, be it work or, I don't know, anything. It depends on you, right? But I feel like, you know, even still, you may still be feeling unfulfilled. Like those things aren't bringing you what it is that you really want, what it is you really need. And in order to change things, right, you first must accept that what you're doing now, how things are now, aren't bringing you the happiness, the fulfillment, the joy that it is that you desire, right? Because if you don't accept it, you can't change it. But let's see what else wants to come out for you. And then we're going to get your final message. Right? Some of you may kind of avoid your feelings through work or even relationships as well, right? And it may be time for you to, you know, spend some time alone. really reconnecting with yourself, right? We have these two cards here, both one under the other, like very much in kind of fetal position. Kind of, it may be good for you to spend some time, you know, doing some inner child healing, thinking back on your childhood, right? And reflecting on that, reflecting on whether or not, you know, or just reflecting on how your childhood, your upbringing kind of influenced you, and whether or not, you know, you want to kind of continue down that path, or whether you want to kind of bring in new energy that is more in alignment with you and what it is that you really want for yourself in the long run, right? Some of you may be kind of just going through the motions based on what you were taught, what you learned growing up. And that may not be bringing you the fulfillment that it is you desire. But let's see what else wants to come out for you. And then excuse me. Yeah, so I feel like some of you have kind of gone or gotten comfortable with one particular mindset about, or even just a viewpoint about life, about love. But I feel like in doing so, it's kind of left you feeling a bit empty, feeling a bit lost, feeling like, you know, there's more out there for you to experience, to have, to hold. Hey man, you know, some of you may be, you know, afraid of commitment, and it could be, you know, connected to, like I was saying, your upbringing, right? You may have, you know, seen your parents go through what they went through, and it may have affected how you see relationships, and that has kind of influenced your mindset on love, on relationships. But at the same time, I feel like there's this desire for change, you know. I feel like what you're doing and the experiences you've kind of had enough of it, and you want to experience something different, something new. But you may be kind of pushing it away or distancing yourself from relationships, possibly out of fear of being hurt, or repeating, you know, cycles, or repeating what you've seen through your parents or through other people. But I feel like, you know, it's kind of time for you here to kind of open up to new experiences, to open up to new relationships and ways of being with people, right? But let's get your final message here. So what's the final message for those who pick pile 1? Just one. Just one. Thank you. So you have here Al-Uzza, star of Venus. We're going to read from the book. So, the star of Venus is the great androgen, neither solely masculine nor feminine, but an integration of both. The power it bestows is mighty and based utterly in love. When this star seeks us out, multiple blessings are bestowed, and our spiritual growth can be accelerated in ways that may be quite dazzling and surprising to our more limited mindset and belief systems. With great blessings, great growth is possible. However, the blessings don't do the growth for us, making it magically happen. They give us the oomph we need, the power and the opportunities and assistance we need, yet it is still we who take the journey. The great spiritual journey for old souls at this time in Earth's history is the journey from duality to oneness. Many are signing up for that wild, loving adventure. This oracle has come to you as a reminder that you, too, have been granted a ticket for that journey. This journey of oneness is not about denying duality, but about experiencing it as an expression of one love. It is about no longer being enslaved by it. It is about avoiding what is not wanted in order to pursue what is wanted. It is about embracing the all, of finding the freedom and joy originally sought, but now through a path that takes you into joy and freedom existing within. To take the great transformation from man or woman into cosmic androgen does not require that we lose our sense of femininity or masculinity. Rather, they become so superior in development that they cease to be distinguished from one another. Our masculine clarity, with its discernment, practicality, and application, becomes so tender, loving, compassionate, and tempered with grace that the feminine is integrated with it. Our feminine nurturance, dedication, and connection to life become so fierce that discernment and wise action naturally prevail. With this great androgynous integration of the masculine and the feminine into oneness, men and women of this beautiful earth become capable of a new consciousness. It is of one based in love, of service to life, of letting go of judgment, stereotypes, and limited belief systems, and of opening up to compassion for all life. As the consciousness is anchored, spiritual growth becomes rapid. This is not necessarily without some bumps and bruises. Letting go of old notions of what it is to be a man or a woman, to be masculine or feminine. Letting go of fear of women or men, of emasculation or victimization. Letting go of wounding are all great steps forward. They promise liberation, empowerment, and compassion, as well as peace and happiness, yet they are not easy steps to take. Great resistance can be evoked within you as an individual and also within the culture around you, which might find your notion of personal, spiritual empowerment confronting and challenging to their culture of fear-based enslavement of the soul. They will be right about it being confronting, but mistaken in assuming that confrontation is something best resisted. So then what to do? Al-Uzza, the ancient shining one, also known as the star of Venus, holds much power and strength. Even a small blessing of her light is more powerful than the fear of thousands, if not millions of people. She is known as a worthy ally in battle of any kind, even spiritual battle. You must, however, stay aligned with her way, which is not to fight fear with fear, hate with hate, or anger with anger. Does that mean you should not feel fear, hate, or anger? Of course not. Venus denies no experience, so let yourself feel whatever you feel. The guidance is not to stop being human. Take the next step into the divine human, into allowing the star blessing to nestle in your heart, so you can shift as you feel the feelings, holding them with compassion, then choosing your own truths that resonate at a far more refined vibration. The rebellious passion of the star of Venus is that she seeks out whomever is ready to know more fully the truth of divine oneness. Whether the culture around them can acknowledge one of their own being more enlightened as a blessing or not, it is a divine gift nevertheless. How liberating it shall feel to be truly empowered to live life as you feel is truthful, and to feel completely empowered to allow others to do the same with joy in your heart. You understand that everyone is walking an unfolding path, and that we don't have to understand or justify the path of another to feel peace in our own hearts. If you are stumbling with judgment within yourself, do not fear. The blessing of Venus is coming to you to help you surrender it, to help you find your way through so that you can be free now. Your guidance then is to trust your path, trust your evolution, even in the face of those around you reacting to it possibly in fear or discomfort. Trust in the paths of others too, for in truth there is one path and we are all on it. You do not have to convince anyone of anything. That is not your job. Your job is to embrace your wisdom, embrace your freedom, and empowerment to grow spiritually and live your life accordingly. You are becoming through bestowal of grace, something more of a goddess and a god, of a human and a sacred animal integrated as one. This is sacred alchemy, amplified in the star fires of Venus, who loves you as a brother-sister and honors your soul with her blessing. Shine true, beloved, shine bright. All right, but that's all I have for you, pile one. I hope this reading helped you in some way. If you liked it, if it resonated, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I truly appreciate you and hope to see you soon. I'm gonna go ahead on to pile two. So until the next video, peace out. So if you picked pile two here with Eddie, this is what the Haunting of Bly Manor is trying to tell you about your love life. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what the cards got to say here for those who picked pile two. I'm sorry. What's that one? Pile two. What's the message here for those who picked pile two? Okay, so we have here peace. I am a being of love and I release all negative energy. So you could have here some like negative feelings or emotions or even thoughts about love, right? It could be to do with like a past relationship, how that played out, how that affected you, that are kind of taking about a bite out of you, kind of making it hard for you to kind of see or feel differently about love, about relationships, or even about yourself, right? You could even feel kind of uncomfortable, like in relationships or connecting with other people, maybe even uncomfortable in your own skin. But let's see here. What else wants to come out for you? Okay. So we have sanctuary. A sanctuary resides inside you no matter what is happening. This inner temple becomes, oh my goodness, I cannot read today. A sanctuary resides inside you no matter what is happening. This inner temple beckons you to enter. Take a deep breath, enter and sit down on the throne of your own heart. Yeah, so with this, I'm kind of feeling like you may have like even some kind of anxieties around love, around relationships. Yeah, like I'm kind of seeing like heavy breathing or like almost like a panic attack. But some of you could even kind of feel like more at peace by yourself. Like I was saying, you may have like feel a bit uncomfortable like around other people. Excuse me. All right, some of you may have experienced something traumatic around love, around relationships that make it kind of difficult for you to kind of feel at peace or feel comfortable connecting or opening up to other people. Yeah, and I feel like if you did kind of experience something painful or traumatic when it comes to love, when it comes to relationships, right? It made you who you are, right? And even if you have like kind of like anxiety issues, or even just you're like really sensitive, you may kind of want to hold that back or feel like it's a weakness, right? But it's not. It's like it's a part of you. It's a beautiful part of you, and it's a part of your story. It's a part of, you know, what makes you, I feel like, very attractive to other people. And you know, your past experiences are here to kind of prepare you for, you know, what's better, what's coming, and enabling you to kind of understand other people who may have experienced similar things and connect with them and help them, right? So don't be afraid to kind of let that shine and let that show. Let's see what else wants to come out. For those who pick pile 2. Yeah, I feel like, you know, you guys may like be kind of, you know, like I was saying, like sensitive or really emotional, and you may be kind of afraid to express that or to show that to other people, to show like your sensitive side, your loving side, maybe even like out of fear of like being taken advantage of, or people using it against you. So you kind of distance yourself in certain situations because of, you know, these past experiences where people may have kind of used that against you or treated you badly because of who you are and how you are, right? But there, with this Mother of Fire, like, it's a need for you to be confident within yourself and not be afraid to express yourself, to show how your sensitive side, but even to kind of connect with people who are, you know, similar to you, right? And to trust that, you know, it's safe to be yourself and not feel like you have to hide yourself or to shift or change yourself in order to appease other people, to make them happy, for them to accept you, right? You could have experienced relationships where, you know, like I was saying, where people kind of took advantage of you or used your sensitivity against you, or even maybe made fun of you, ridiculed you. And that has kind of affected how you see yourself, how you see love, how you see relationships with other people, and how you kind of come to those relationships. Yeah, with this distorted feminine here, you may like kind of feel like you kind of need love, or you need someone to give you love in order for you to be acceptable or accepted or worthy, right? You may feel like no one understands you, or even like no one loves you, right? That you're unlovable because of, how you are, or how, your experiences in the past. But here with this boundaries, right? If you have experienced, some negative relationships, or even people who just treated you bad, it taught you some things. It taught you how to kind of right, what's coming to my mind is close yourself off, right? And I feel like you have kind of been closing yourself off, but there's a need here for you to realize you don't have to kind of close yourself off, right? You learned how to create these walls to kind of shield yourself from these people who may have treated you badly, or but that was all a lesson in boundaries, right? In learning how to protect yourself from negative energy, negative people, right? But you don't have to wall yourself up anymore. It's kind of safe for you to love. It's safe for you to be yourself, right? And you've learned how to weed out, or to see who, is right for you, who is not. And it's time for you to kind of trust yourself to decipher, to discern who's good for you, who's not, who deserves your energy, who doesn't, and to not be afraid of, someone not being good to you, right? Because you can always cut them off, bro. Hey, man, if they don't deserve you, don't give them your energy. Don't give them the time of day. You don't have to explain. You don't have to, be mean either. It's just, you get to decide who you want in your life, who's good for you, who's not. And if they're not good for you, make sure that you stand up for yourself, that you protect yourself from people who may be using you, or who may be treating you badly, right? But don't feel like you have to stay to yourself or distance yourself from the entire world, right? Because there are people out there who see how beautiful, who see how amazing you are, and want to, have you in their lives, and to love you, and to give you the same love and attention and affection that you give them. But if you don't feel like you're worthy of it, or if you feel like, afraid to even open up because you're afraid that someone's going to mistreat you, it's going to kind of prevent you from receiving that love, from meeting those people. Look at that, the lovers, right? I feel like it's a need for you to, what's coming to my mind is like exercise those demons, like to disconnect from people who aren't treating you right, who don't love you the way you deserve to be loved, so that you can make space for the people who will give you the love that you desire. Yeah, I feel like here with this Magician showing up, you are manifesting new love into your life, right? But I feel like it's a need here to make peace with the past, to make peace with who may have wronged you, right? It doesn't mean you have to like be their friend or anything, but it's like a need to make peace, to let that go, so that new energy can come in, new love can come in, right? But it's all about kind of allowing and feeling comfortable within your skin, within yourself, in order to feel like you are deserving of what it is that you want, right? But if you don't feel deserving, if you feel like there's something wrong with you, or if you feel like, there's just going to be people who kind of come in and kind of suck you dry and treat you bad and leave you, then that's kind of what you're going to manifest in your life, because it's something that needs to be healed. It's something that needs to be released, so that you can bring in that new energy, that love, right? But in order to bring it in, you have to let go of the past. You have to let go of, all of those kind of experiences that kind of brought you down and made you feel less than, right? And it doesn't mean, you have to forget about it, or, make them your best friend. It just means, you kind of take the lessons and you don't allow it to make you feel less than. Okay? But let's get your final message here. So what's the final message for those who picked pile 2? All right, but don't let nobody treat you wrong. Okay? Don't do it. You deserve better. You deserve happiness. You deserve love. You deserve all those good things. Okay, so we have here Sacred Soul Sister. So let's read from the book for this. Okay. So this one is long, you guys, but I'm gonna read it. Okay, so it reads, there is a valid point of view that we travel this path of our life journey alone. Our deepest descents into the psyche happen alone. We meet death alone and come into the world alone, and yet there is a vaster perspective that we are never alone, that it would be impossible to really be alone. We are connected to all of life, and there is no such thing as being alone in reality, only in limited and temporary perception. As if such community were not enough, there is a partner, an ally who journeys with you from birth to death and beyond again and again. You are a sacred sister, a sister of your soul. She weaves the stories of truth through dreams and insights that come upon you as if from nowhere. Perhaps they drop into your mind or seem to erupt from within you, but that is her talking to you, demanding or reassuring, depending on what the occasion best calls for at that moment. Your truths may seem overly dramatic, so you may discount them as workings of an overactive imagination, or perhaps her truth tales are so subtle you dismiss them as meaningless, fleeting fancy. The wise ones know, however, that the truths of the sacred soul sister are powerful, relevant, and worthy of time and attention. They know her oftentimes strange and startling offerings hold the keys to unlock entire worlds, to open up new realities, and to transform the nature of our existence, from the deepest and most esoteric spiritual levels to the most palpable, practical, daily realities of our living bodies in the physical world. Your sacred soul sister is your partner in consciousness. Make no mistake, she is you. She is just a part of you so great you cannot always see her from your conscious mind. It is sort of like the eye of the dog trying to see its whole self, which is a bit tricky, for as it moves to see its rear, so the rear is moved along too. So rather than through direct perception, the sacred soul sister is met through reflection. She can be received in those moments of rest where great ideas are born. She is a genius, you see, vastly creative and inspired. Her worlds are those we access in sleep and meditation, or absorbing engagement in activity where the mind can relax and drop into realities far more vast than those of daily life and be replenished. To tap into her wisdom, to distill a teaching from the fragmented memory of a dream or a subtle feeling experienced in meditation requires that you walk with her gait and not the fast-paced, forward-moving center of your conscious and intellectual mind. Her gait is meandering and apparently unstudied, yet she is in deep concentration to feel for truth of movement, to allow for what is emerging to express itself through her, and she is listening rather than demanding to know, to force, to speak, and to direct. To receive her genius and benefit most fully from it requires a willingness to surrender logic and open up to inspiration, to become empty, to let the mind soften, and become receptive, open, and permeable. She delivers questions that lead to answers, but not according to demands issued by an insecure and fearful mind. She offers what is genuinely needed and answers the deepest questions of the heart. She is trustworthy, this sister. She cannot betray truth, therefore she can be relied upon as a faithful way shower for the heart. So to commune with her, wise as that impulse is, requires that you learn the ways of her world and the strange symbolic language she speaks. She will never tell you what you already know. Why be so inefficient? No, she prefers to educate, elucidate, intrigue, and beguile you, and beguile as you are drawn into far more beautiful, powerful, and helpful truths. So in her world and in her language, you must suspend your needs to immediately understand. Let yourself absorb the energy, the feelings, and the possibilities, to dwell, ponder, and be permeated by the wisdom. The appearance of a horse may signify your own spiritual being, and the appearance of you may signify a false sense of identity, and not the real you at all. You may see desert landscapes and moonlit nights in your dreams. When so much inner growth is happening, you will soon bloom like the springtime. You may dream of charging up hills with great energy, when in your physical world you can barely muster enough strength to get out of bed in the morning. What does this all mean? This apparent contrary world upside down, nothing is as it seems symbolism. The meaning is the communication, and the communication is received in repose, in reflection, in quietness and rest. And you must trust her and trust yourself. When something needs to be known, so it shall be. This is necessary, so much less than what we expect. Your lack of knowing is not ignorance. Your unknowingness is your bowing to life with trust. She has come to you through this oracle to remind you that everything is all right, that she has your back, no matter what appearances may seem to be to your more limited dog-eyes consciousness in the light of day. She is guiding you with her wider knowledge through circumstances and situations that are ultimately going to free you into a greater love than you have ever known, no matter whether you feel like a rat in a maze or a bewildered drunk stumbling through labyrinthine back alleyways, trying to find your way home again. No matter how out of control life may seem, she's letting you know all is proceeding just as it should, and that her will shall manifest. Her will is your wholeness, your completion. Her will must manifest and shall, because her will is nature. It is growth, it is God, she is God, and you, now. Remember that, and you'll realize, if you don't mind the ending being told before the last chapter, that everything's going to be okay. This oracle comes with particular guidance also. You know something deep in your bones without knowing how or why, or without particular reason. You just know. It doesn't make sense, but you know. It may be joy that you know. It may be that you know to avoid a certain situation. It may be that something is going to work out beautifully despite appearances to the contrary. At a particular moment, it may be that you are meant to take a certain path. You just know. This oracle comes as confirmation that your knowing, mysterious as it is your sacred soul sister talking through you. Trust it and act, or not, accordingly. Okay? But that's all I have for you, pile 2. I hope this reading helped you in some way. If you liked it and it resonated, be sure to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already so that you can see more videos like this one. I truly appreciate you and hope to see you soon. Okay, until the next video, I'm going to go on to pile 3. So peace out. So if you picked pile 3 with Dominic Wingrave, let's go ahead and see what the Haunting of Bly Manor is trying to tell you about your love life. Okay, so let's see. Right, if you resonate with Dominic, right, you could have experienced, maybe even like someone stepping out on your relationship, right? Somebody could have cheated on you, or you could just, be very like anti-infidelity, you know what I'm saying? But you could also, be very like protective of yourself, of your family. And you could even be like, if family try me, they can get it too. Hey, man. No judgment. Well, let's see what the cards have to say for those who picked pile 3. Okay, so we have regret. I know that I cannot change the past. Okay, so, or even, maybe you could have been a person that may have stepped out on a relationship in the past, and maybe, this is something that you kind of regret. But I feel like whatever it is that, however it resonates. You may still be kind of holding on to some regret about how a past relationship went or what happened or something that you said. You may have a hard time of letting go of like kind of guilt or feeling bad about things that have happened or what you've done. You may even feel like, if you did kind of experience maybe some infidelity in one of your relationships, you may kind of blame yourself or even kind of deal with those kind of feelings of guilt or shame, right? When I think of regret, it always makes me think of the movie Doubt with, what's her name? Meryl Streep at the end, where she's like, oh, I have my doubts, right? So you could like kind of have like doubts when it comes to relationships about whether or not, you can trust people, or even if you can trust yourself to be the stand-up guy or woman, right, that you want to be. But let's see what else wants to come out for you. Oh wow, okay, no, that's too many. Okay, so we have spaciousness. What do I no longer need? Help me, God, to release whatever people, places, or things drain my vital essence. Show me what will fill me with enthusiasm and joy, as well as gratitude. Find just one thing that you feel grateful for right now, and let that gratitude pour through your body. It's a healing balm like the warmth of the sun. Yeah. So if you do still hold on to some past pain, some past guilt, some past shame, right? It's like a need to kind of let it go so that you can make space for what it is that you want to come in, right? If you may, have some regrets about how you acted in a past relationship, or even if you are, currently in a relationship and maybe, something transpired that you may have regrets about, it may be taking up space within your being and within the relationship. And, it's kind of a need to let it go so that you can have more positive energy, more positive feelings when it comes to love, when it comes to your relationship. Okay. But also with the gratitude showing up, right? There's a need here to, take, I don't want to say take what you've been given, but like be aware of all that is good within you, but also within, your life, within your relationship, if you are, in a relationship at this time, so that you're not kind of so focused on, the negative, that it kind of weighs you down, that it weighs down and burdens you. It burdens, your partner, your relationship. Oop. Too many. Yeah. Now there's a need here, right? Because I feel like with this creation and this hidden learning, right, there's something here that's that may be weighing on your subconscious, right? Either something possibly that happened in the past, or even something that you feel about yourself that's kind of making it hard for you to let go or to create anything kind of more positive, right? Because I feel like if you are holding on to something, whatever it is, right, within your being or within your mind, within your heart, it's kind of taking up so much space, and like it's almost giving me like the idea of like an avalanche, like it's growing and it's growing to the point where it takes up so much space within you. It takes up so much space within your relationship, right? Almost like the elephant in the room that you don't talk about, but it's there and it's heavy and it's, just not fun to deal with, right? But it's there, and the more you don't pay attention to it, the more it grows and the heavier it gets. So it's a need to kind of release that burden, to let it go, to free yourself from those heavy feelings, those heavy thoughts, so that more positive ones can come in, more positive feelings can come in, right? Let's see what else wants to come out here. Right? And it may not be, you know, something that you did or something your partner did. It could have just been something you experienced that's still kind of weighing heavy on you, to the point where it makes it hard for you to see anything other than that, right? You may be like so focused on that, be it consciously or subconsciously, that you have a hard time seeing the positive. You have a hard time seeing the good. You have a hard time feeling happy or feeling loved. And it's kind of time to kind of cleanse yourself of that, to release that, so that more new, more positive energy can come in. And so that you can create, you know, a more happy, more fulfilling life and relationship with yourself and with others. But let's see what else wants to come out for those who pick pile 3. Yeah, I feel like, you know, whatever this is, you know, it's kind of, like I was saying, it's there, but you may not be talking about it. You may not be saying anything about it. But I feel like, you know, you see it. You see it. And you may not be giving it, you know, your conscious attention, but it's there, and it's kind of growing into this thing that has like this mind of its own, and it's affecting you physically, mentally, emotionally, and it's affecting how you kind of show up in life and in your relationships. And it's time here with this 4 of Swords to kind of, you know, heal, to release it, to free yourself of it, so that it no longer kind of disrupts you. It no longer kind of disrupts your rest. It no longer disrupts your peace of mind. Right? For some of you, you may, like, if you are in a relationship, you may kind of be still like focused on the relationship or in the relationship, even though here with this moon, you may like have these feelings, this kind of desire to kind of move away from it, to maybe even, you know, venture out on your own. But you may be afraid of moving away from this relationship because of, you know, maybe you have a child with this person, or, you know, you just feel like you've grown with this person. You spent so much time with this person, and thinking about leaving this relationship may be a little bit scary, a little bit daunting, right? But I feel like either way, whether you want to stay or whether you want to leave, you know, there's still this kind of emotional weight that you're carrying that kind of needs to be released and let go of, so that it's not weighing so much on you. And like affecting you, right? And if you have a child, affecting your child. Excuse me. Right? Some of you may even have dreams that it is you want to pursue, but you're afraid of doing it. Or it could even be with this regret showing up, where there was something that you wanted to accomplish, something that you wanted to do, and maybe even still want to do, but you feel you may have lost your chance. You may feel like you lost your opportunity. Yeah, and I feel like if you're single here, you know, you may have even recently left a relationship in order to pursue something that you felt, you know, was more, that just was better for you, that provided you with all that you wanted, right? You may have been in a relationship where you felt like all of your needs weren't being met, or you weren't being given what it is that you deserve and what it is you desire. So you kind of felt like you had to move on in order to find something better for yourself, right? But I feel like here, you know, there may still be some feelings here with this worthiness showing up of being unworthy of love, of being unworthy of the love that you desire, of the relationship that you desire, right? And it's kind of a need to kind of move out of that space, right? To deal with those emotions, to see them, to reflect on them, but to, you know, because if you try to kind of repress them, or if you don't pay attention to them, they don't go away, right? They just kind of find new ways of showing themselves. So make sure that you're spending enough time in reflecting about on your feelings, and giving yourself the emotional nurturance and love that it is you need in order to move out of this kind of lowly space that you may be in, right? But let's see what else wants to come out for you, and then we're going to get your final message. Right? Some of you may even be feeling like, you know, you maybe even, like I was saying, you may have missed out on an opportunity, or maybe even, you know, you may feel like you're too old, or you've been out of the dating scene too long, whatever it may be, right? It's kind of a need to kind of release that mindset, to release that idea of yourself, of, you know, who you need to be in order to be happy, in order to receive the love that it is that you deserve and that you desire, so that you can, you know, find the love, right? Two of Cups that you want. Right? Excuse me. There may even be like a person that you feel like you may have lost an opportunity with, right? A relationship that you feel may have passed you by, you know, the one that got away, that kind of thing, that you're still thinking about. Right? And you're wondering whether or not you should take that move, you should make that move towards that person, right? Or whether or not, you know, it's kind of done, it's over with, right? But I feel like, you know, if, you know, this is something that you still desire, hey man, it's your decision. But, you know, don't let something pass you by out of fear of what may happen. Like, what do they say? You never know unless you give it a try. You never know unless you give it a try. right? Maybe time for you to kind of sit in reflection to figure out what it is that you want to do, right? And to stop avoiding your feelings, but to kind of confront them, to look at them, and to see what moves you can make. And then, once you decide, make that move. Okay? But let's get your final message here. Right? But don't be afraid to make your move. Right? Listen to your gut, follow your heart. Let's get your final message. What's the final message for those who pick pile 3? Oh, wait a minute. Okay, that one. Oh, man. Cards are just falling everywhere. Okay, so let's see. You have here from nothing to everything. So let's read from the book here. Okay, so it reads, there are moments on the path of love that seem to focus on letting go of identities, of knowledge and certainty, of opinion, and even attempts at control. We may feel as though we are being stripped back to our core, and even then, perhaps further still. We may wonder if we can bear it. What shall, if at all, remain intact through these rigors? We may feel challenged every time we attempt to become something great, as though we are blocked by circumstances beyond our control. Again and again, it is as though a greater hand smacks our wrist the moment we try to take hold of something firmly, someone, anything that brings us certainty or any inner stability. Such are the rigors at an advanced stage on the path. We meet this challenge when our soul is ready for it. Why must it be thus? This is a sage question indeed. When we are asked to dispense with our story, the interpretations we have given to our life experiences over the years, we may not hear the request at first. We may vaguely note it, but not recognize the great divine source asking this of us, and so we do not give such an inclination due accord. We may persist with spinning our own tales instead. Or our mind may fancy itself to be a great wrangler of the word, impressed with its own judgments and declarations. Yet in the light of comparison with the divine tale for our soul, all our fancy shall pass away, revealed as so very frail, like clouds dissipating in the sky. Perhaps we are graced with the realization there is so much more. Or perhaps we still don't get the hint and move into struggle as we try to enact what we think our story should be. We may hit obstacle after obstacle and create even more terror in our storytelling. That life is such pain, a struggle, that success may not be for us, that we are forgotten and unheard. Yet we could equally choose to wonder if obstacle after obstacle, closed door after closed door, is just a prompt to look for the open window to climb through. And if so, instead of seeking to impose our small story upon the great truth, we can live the truth of our divine destiny. Then something magical happens. We participate through presence along with the unfolding story of our soul journey. We open up to whatever is asked of us, presented to us, happening through us, as we choose each day to come alive as much as we can. Then, as if by magic, there is something else that occurs. That would be grace. Real, rich, dripping with goodness and sustenance. Grace. This is the sacred blessing that enables us to pay attention to opening doors rather than closing ones. The divine assistance that lets us know our life is proceeding according to a greater intelligence and plan. Once we stop thinking quite so much and live day to day, we will be blessed with the realization that our individual life story is so much more extraordinary and perfect than anything we could have summoned, even with our wildest imagination. This oracle comes with guidance for you. You are being asked to let go, to receive, to become empty, to be filled. This may mean letting go of attachment to a lover so you can receive genuine love. It may be of no longer holding on to a fantasy of your dream job, but of being guided into your most soulful and successful vocation. It may mean letting go of wishes for your body or health to be other than it is, so you can simply get on with living each day, taking steps into wellness without thinking beyond one day at a time. It is the divine paradox that when we are asked to surrender a story or fantasy, it is because reality is knocking at our door more often than not with the delivery of what we have been fantasizing about, but in the best way for us. The human experience of this paradox is that you may feel you are giving up hope, that your fantasy is dying. It may be very painful and bring you much grief, but all that is dying is your attachment and opinion about how it must be. This needs to happen so you can stop dreaming and start living it. This is what is happening for you now. Do not fear any part of your process. Embrace it without expectation, with trust in your heart that the divine is simply guiding you from fantasy into fulfillment. Okay? But that's all I have for you, pile 3. I hope this reading helped you in some way. If you liked it and it resonated, be sure to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already so that you can see more videos like this one. I truly appreciate you and hope to see you soon. Until the next video. Peace out.